Hey, what's up my fellow collectors? Tonight I am looking at another Neca action figure. This time it's the God of War Kratos, Ghost of Sparta video game figure. Very glad to have this one. Excited to get him out of the packaging and take a look at him. But this is the box. We get this nice big eye picture of Kratos. It has a God of War. It has a Sony logos, player select, Neca. Top of the box you get this cool little God of War. Bottom of the box you get that. Side of the box you get that. This side of the box you got some nice cool images of the figure. And on the back of the box you get a bunch of stuff. Couple shots of the figure. These might even be shots of the video game over here. Says some bonus features, 31 points of articulations, 2 interchangeable heads. Shows you the cast of that made this awesome figure. And then of course this has this Velcro open flap here, so on the inside you get this kind of cool little picture here, and then you do get the figure behind the window there, which is nice and big open, shows you everything you get with the figure. So it would make a really good mint on card collector piece. But I want to open this guy up and take a look at him, so let's do that. Okay, so here he is all out of the packaging, and I gotta say, man, this is a fantastic figure. I mean, just an absolute great figure. Even if you're not a God of War fan and you just like cool ass looking action figures, this is definitely one to get. Now, of course, like always, Neca does give us this really nice backdrop, which just kind of has this crazy, kind of, I'm sure this is a video game inspired backdrop, but it just looks really cool. So you do get that. You get this additional head, which is done really nice. I mean, look at the paint and sculpt on that. Just really clean paint all throughout. Nice sculpt everywhere. Just really nice. You get his 2 swords, which are pretty much identical, but these are done really nice. I mean, look at that. It's a nice like translucent orange color, really nice paint. And then look at the sculpt down here at the handle. Just really nice, detail all in that. And these chains and everything. So cool. And both of these swords are pretty much the same. You have a, I guess this is a different shoulder pad you can put on him, which I don't really even see where that is. Oh, I guess it goes right here. You can pop this one off and put this one on if you want to. And then you get these things. Look at these. These are absolutely fantastic. They just look so freaking awesome. Just the sculpt and paint on these are just amazing. Now there is no like articulation in this. I kind of thought there was when I first looked at them because of all these like circle pieces. I thought maybe it rotated, but these are like really sharp. You could cut yourself on that. But these are really cool. And they pretty much both look exactly the same, but done really well. And then as far as the figure, let's take a closer look at him because this is done really well. The head sculpt that comes on him in the package is more of like an angry look to him, but I mean, look at that. It just looks so great. Really nice paint and sculpt work and all. Just the painting and all this like kind of crazy white spotted shading all throughout the figure just makes it look so good. It really is well done, very well done. And then all of his these like kind of armor pieces are really soft plastic, so they're going to get out of the way. It's not going to ruin any articulation, but they're painted and sculpted so well. Looks so good. Oh, you know what, this probably ports here. Yeah, so that's just an extra armor piece you can add on his right arm. But I mean, look at these gauntlets. They look great. Look at all the sculpt work in that and all the chains and everything. And the wraps on his hands. It's just crazy how Neca can do this and only charge, $24, $25 for this. It's unreal. But looking at the other arm, really good. Again, we get this nice chain gauntlet that just looks great, nicely painted, nicely detailed. Coming down to this like kind of skirt thing, once again, just done really. This is a very soft plastic so it'll get out of the way and not hinder any articulation, but it just looks so good. The paint and sculpt in that is just amazing. And you even have like these little circles punched out on each one of these little straps that come down off of that. Really, really fantastic job. Just looks so freaking cool. And then coming down to his boots again, which look freaking awesome. Look at that. Really, and these are soft pieces as well. Really nice job on these boots. Paint and sculpt is all there. Just looks fantastic. And then even down to his sandals. They look really good. His toes, toenails on there. Really nice job on that. And then the bottom, of course, you do have 2 peg holes. And if that wasn't enough, you even get nice articulation with this guy. I mean, the articulation is pretty good. I mean, the head is a little bit limited. The head does limit a little bit. You really don't get much. I mean, all you really get with that is swivel. And because of the beard, it kind of hits on this side. But he can rotate all the way around this side. It just hits on this side. But you don't really get, I mean, you get a little bit of pivot side to side. But yeah, I mean, you don't get any up and down really at all. So that's a little bit disappointing. But the arms, you get really good range with that. You get a hinge and swivel. Brings the arm out horizontal. That'll swivel all the way around. You get a bicep swivel in there. You get double jointed arms, which work really well. Come up about that much. You do get swivel and hinge at the hands. You get this cut in the chest that brings them over about that much. Brings them back about that much. So I mean, that you don't get a lot of range with that, but you get a decent amount of range with it. There is a waist swivel. The legs, and look, even underneath, like underneath this is all sculpted under here. It's crazy. But as you see, we just have a hinge, a ball, a hinge, and you know, swivel, so you can swivel around that. Come all the way out. Kicks about that much forward. Kicks about that much back. You do get double jointed knees. And as far as you do get a big ball down here, and I mean, you get a little bit of back and forth. You get a nice little pivot on there, but it's more or less like a swivel, and it kind of swivels at an angle. So it does give you a little bit of a pivot. But I mean, yeah, just a great looking piece. So like I said, you have this extra piece that you can peg on there. I guess this just kind of adds a little extra kind of flair to him. Oh, on the back of his back, he has this piece so you can put his swords in here. So that gives you a little display option for his swords, and that looks really cool. And as far as these, I think these just go over his hands. I mean, look at that. That is so cool. And as far as the other head that does come with it, it pops off. This pops on pretty easily. So you got another option as far as his head. Oh, actually, this does not pop on very easily. There it goes. So, I mean, both heads look great. I mean, either one. I kind of prefer the more angry look to it. Just kind of fits the style of the figure a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, you just get loads of detail in this thing. And I'm guessing, looks like this even comes off too if you wanted to. So you could pull this off as well. That will come off. And this part of his back does come off as well too. So you can remove this. And it took me a while to figure this out, but the cool thing is this does come with these 2 little pegs. So you can peg these into these holes to cover them up. One's a little bit bigger, one's a little bit smaller, and you can tell that there with the pegs. So that's really cool that they included that. So if you don't want to have this little backpack part on him, you can at least cover up those holes. But I would rather have them on there because that's pretty cool how you can store these swords in there. Now, you don't get any extra hands, but he does hold on to his weapons fairly well. The hands are a little bit on the soft side, so you know, just kind of bend them out. Might take a little bit of time for that to kind of form back in, but he does hold his swords well. This one's a little bit loose, but I did just kind of crank on that, so I'm sure that will eventually, there we go, eventually kind of go back. But he does hold on to his swords really well. But I mean, just overall, this is such a fantastic piece. I mean, for the price point, $24, I mean, look at that. You're getting such a greatly sculpted figure that just looks great. You got loads of options. Oh, I don't think I mentioned that he does have toe articulation down here, but it doesn't really work too well just because of this wrap that goes over, you know, his sandal. But there is the cut there. This one actually works a little bit better than the other side. And I guess it's just because that's kind of raised a little more. This one's a little bit more kind of flat on his foot. But I mean, just overall, I mean, how badass is that? That looks great. Such a cool looking figure. He is a little bit on the hard side to stand. But I mean, just very well done. I mean, look at that. Now, I do have a problem with this joint being a little loose. That's unfortunate. I mean, because it won't hold this, you know, this thing up, which is a little bit of a bummer. So, pop that off there. But I mean, overall, I'm not mad because it still just looks like a great figure. But yeah, that's it, guys. That is the Neca Kratos Gods of War figure. Very cool. I would highly recommend getting this figure, even if you're not a Gods of War fan, because it really does make for a great action figure. I mean, you're getting some pretty awesome accessories with them. Getting a couple of interchangeable heads. You get the interchangeable, you know, armor parts on his arms. You get two very nicely detailed swords, or whatever those things were called in the game. Just excellent. Very nice. Very cool piece. But yeah, guys, that is the review. And I will catch y'all on the next figure review. Take care. What's up, collectors? I completely forgot about measuring this guy out for you. He's about 7.5 inches. And compared to another Neca figure, here's an alien Predator figure. Gives you a little bit of size comparison. Here he is with a Marvel Legends Deadpool. Here he is with a Mafex Batman. So it just gives you a little bit of size comparison as to what the your Kratos figure is going to look like on the shelf. Let's put a Jason back there in the background. So that just gives you a little idea of what he will look like on the shelf, and some size comparisons as far as some other figures. If I can get Jason to stand. There we go. But yeah, it just gives you a little idea of what he's going to look like on the shelf. Completely forgot about that in the review, so I just want to add this at the end here. But yeah, take care, guys. I'll see you on the next figure review.